Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with a Valley News Live exclusive report. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Stephanie is off. A Polk County woman says she was the victim of sexual assault, but she says she's the one facing a criminal charge. The woman says she was charged with assault after her boyfriend was stabbed while he was trying to rape her. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson talks with Christina Schmidt in a story you'll only see here.
He had a history of being abusive. There had been a prior incident where he had tried to push himself on me while I was sleeping, and a friend intervened.
This was no fairy tale romance. Schmidt says she's been in treatment battling an alcohol and drug addiction problem since June. And her boyfriend at the time, Robert Guzman, has a long criminal history, including assault charges, drug charges, and a contempt of court charge. According to court records, it happened here in this Crookston apartment building in December of 2013. Schmidt claims Guzman tried to force himself on her and gouged and scratched her genitals with his fingernails. She says they were both drinking at the time, and she does not remember stabbing Guzman. Guzman suffered non-life-threatening slashing wounds.
This incident this night, he came into the room and tried to have sex with me. I refused. I told him that I was scared. I told him to stop and to leave. He wouldn't. And that I was going to get a knife to protect myself, and I put it under my pillow. When I came to, he was stabbing me with his nails.
Guzman initially told police he cut himself. Further investigation resulted in a second-degree assault charge against Schmidt that carries a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison. Schmidt says none of this would have happened if Guzman had simply respected her when she said no.
I just started trying to do whatever I could to get him off of me, and my daughter was laying right there in her bouncer crying, and I couldn't get him off. I'm a victim, and I'm being treated as if I'm the perpetrator.
The trial in this he said, she said case is scheduled to begin Monday. The prosecutor has declined comment. In Crookston, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Robert Guzman is scheduled to testify at next week's trial. However, it is also expected that he may have returned to his home in Texas. If Guzman does not appear, the defense may ask for the case to be thrown out. A teenager and his girlfriend are behind bars after police say he was threatening people with a handgun. The 16-year-old was arrested in South Moorhead after 6 people say he threatened them with a .45 caliber handgun. It's not only illegal for teenagers to have handguns, but police also say he stole that gun as well. We talked to people in the neighborhood today. Many say that they see a lot of cops around.
I don't know if I would call it the ghetto. I mean, it is a little rundown. As you know, it's not the nicest neighborhood in Moorhead. But as far as the term ghetto, I don't agree with that. I've met a lot of really good people in this neighborhood. And yeah, I do think it's getting better every year.
The 16-year-old who was arrested is facing a variety of charges, including assault, fleeing from police, possession of stolen property, and underage drinking. The next feature at the Fargo Movies could be beer with your popcorn. At least that's what Marcus Theaters wants. The company is again asking for a new liquor license for theaters in the area. A year ago, the company asked for a license, but later withdrew that application. Valley News Team's Macy Enger is here. Macy, what would change when you head to the movies if this proposal is approved?
Mike, the theater would have a lounge that serves alcohol. It would look similar to its Take 5 lounges at other locations, offering drinks and appetizers to those over 21. The theater would allow adults to take their beverages into any theater, including children's movies. And that's what some board members and the community have a problem with, allowing alcohol in a family-friendly atmosphere. But the theater argues that it's no different than serving beer at a Red Hawks game or restaurant, which also caters to families.
Well, they have a good track record that they've been doing this in a number of other facilities and don't have any problems. And so we'll have to look at that and just see if it's appropriate for Fargo.
To ensure everyone's safety, the theater says drinks would be served in different colored cups. Each person would be limited to 2 drinks, and employees would be trained to monitor guests to make sure the guidelines are followed. And coming up tonight at 10, I'll have reaction from some moviegoers and what they think about this plan. Mike?
All right, thanks, Macy. The board plans to decide on the proposal at its next meeting. That's when board members want people to voice their opinions. That meeting will be held at City Hall on October 28th. We're continuing coverage tonight on Tom Bierson, the NDSU student who was killed almost a year ago. Lieutenant Tori Jacobson with the Moorhead Police Department says, despite what some people are thinking, the murder of Bierson is not a cold case. In fact, 6 officers on the case were sent to West Virginia to meet with FBI behavioral experts.
We haven't identified our suspect or our motive at this point, but we have a lot of information that has already been gathered, and we want to make sure that we're not overlooking anything. They were very complimentary to the thoroughness, completeness of this investigation.
Lieutenant Jacobson also says they were able to go through all the evidence collected by the department to give them possible leads, but would not tell us what the experts found. Hard to complain about today's weather. In fact, I thought it was rather quiet and enjoyable. Around here, that doesn't always last very long, so let's find out from Hutch if that's going to continue tonight.
Well, tonight I think we will see the same weather continue throughout the evening. Quite a range of temperatures across the region, Mike. We had 90s today just to our south, 86 the high in Wahpeton, 75 your high in Grand Forks. And as we head into the evening, thunderstorms are moving toward the I-94 corridor in central and southern Minnesota. For us, most of us will stay dry with the exception of northwest Minnesota, Baudette to Bemidji, seeing some showers in the Red Lakes area. This evening, temperatures falling through the 70s with light winds. It'll be very, very pleasant, but overnight, a chance of some showers and thunderstorms for our area. I'll show you who has the best chance at seeing some moisture, and it does look like we'll close this work week off on a chilly note. I'll have details on that and your weekend outlook in a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. Did you have a hard time driving to work this morning? If you did, you were probably driving along a stretch of I-94. It was shut down for some time after a semi-truck driver fell asleep behind the wheel. He caused a crash near Dalton, Minnesota. It happened around 5:30 this morning. The Minnesota State Patrol says the first semi-driver woke up as the semi was on the grass along the shoulder. He tried to regain control, overcorrected, and jackknifed. That's when a second semi hit it head-on. 3 people were taken to the hospital with injuries that were said to be non-life-threatening. The West Fargo Police Department is issuing a warning after a woman lost thousands of dollars in a computer and phone scam. The victim's computer started making noises, then a message appeared telling her to call a phone number to have the problem fixed. The scammers were using the name of a real business and told the woman to send them money to have the computer fixed. A few weeks later, they called back saying they had overcharged her for fixing the computer, got her checking and savings account numbers, and used a refund scam to steal $8,000 from her accounts. Most of you have probably heard of SAD, that's Students Against Drunk Driving or Students Against Destructive Decisions. Today, the group is beginning a new campaign aimed at emphasizing the positive, not against. One of the 3 points involves traffic safety. Another updates its reality check curriculum for elementary schools. And then there's a new focus on empowering young people.
We are emphasizing people to be happy with who they are, leading a healthy lifestyle so that they're substance-free, just so that they feel empowered and not pressured to go with everyone else who is making a destructive decision. It's all about you being able to do the best for you.
Northern Lights Youth Services is the group that oversees SAD. You can learn much more about them and what SAD stands for on our website. Just head to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button. Starting today, area firefighters will be asking grocery shoppers across the FM Metro to dig deep to help those fighting muscular diseases. Every dollar will help provide medical treatment and support services to individuals and their families. You can donate Friday through Monday at all 7 Hornbachers in the Fargo-Moorhead area. Last year, $25,000 was raised. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. Later on Valley News Live at 6, how adventurous are you feeling? Maybe the Viking Challenge is something you're ready to tackle.
And we have thunderstorms heading toward the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Overnight, some of us could see rain. I'll have the very latest in your hour-by-hour forecast coming up next.